Several minutes of commercial-free football starts now. Here are the Purple Mortgage Guys.
Hey, welcome to another episode of Purple Mortgage Guys. Joined again today with Tanner and Goose, myself, Brent. Three guys in the mortgage business that found that we love talking Vikings football, so started a podcast here last year, and we're glad that you joined us. So if you've not yet subscribed, hit subscribe, throw some comments. We'd love to read those off on the next episode. And guys, we're going to jump right into it, previewing the big matchup on Sunday against the Packers at Lambeau, coming off the huge, probably season-changing victory Monday night against the 49ers, where I don't know about you guys, but that's the team I think we thought we were getting going into the season, where offense was clicking, defense was flying around the ball, and just looked like a playoff team, I guess, more than anything, looked like a contender. So we're going to quick thoughts on the game from Monday, being that it was a short week here. Tanner, just overall thoughts on the game. Added some optimism, what you expected, or what were your thoughts just to wrap up the San Francisco game?
Well, I don't think anybody expected it. It was a lot of fun to see. I think that was probably one of Kirk Cousins' best games that I've ever seen him play in purple, and maybe actually his best. Not from a statistical perspective. He did put up some pretty good numbers, but just what he did, I felt like the offensive line played very well, but I felt like he was still getting knocked down a lot and still completing some very tough passes in moments when we needed to continue to extend drives and not let the Niners back in the game. He also did it without Justin Jefferson, did it with a rookie receiver, and I would say most people would probably say KJ Osborne and Brandon Powell are actually no-namers. So to beat one of the top 5 defenses in the NFL, I think with limited help at the playmaking positions, I think was really big. And I think this is the first time I can remember the Vikings playing a full game in what my mind felt like front to back from the first quarter to the fourth quarter in years. I feel like we just haven't done that in years. I can't even remember the last time we had a game where we did that. So it's really easy to say like Buffalo last year, but if you guys remember, I feel like we had a quarter or two where we maybe didn't play up to our potential. So I just felt like from first quarter to fourth quarter, they showed up, and it was really fun to see. They looked like a playoff team, like Brent said.
Awesome, Goose. We're going to jump into some tidbits here for the game on Sunday, and then some bold predictions. But your quick recap on the Niners and just your overall level of optimism going forward here.
Yeah, we talked a lot about like a team hasn't really beat the Vikings in a while. It felt like we were beating ourselves, and I wanted to say that going into this game that we have a chance, but you can't say it every game until you fix it. I didn't think we were going to be there when we turned it over in the first 3 plays, but they played a completely clean game after that. As you mentioned, Brent, they looked the way we expected them to all season, and it's all about when you get hot in the NFL, and it seems like we're on the right path. So, offense and defense kind of came together and looked really good. I think it was Kirk's, maybe not his best like overall game, but I think the biggest improvement, I can't tell if it was maybe Reisner starting or if it was Kirk, but I feel like it was his best game in the pocket, like moving up in the pocket and not just getting swallowed up. I know earlier in the season it didn't seem like there was anywhere to step up into with our interior O-line, and so maybe that's Reisner, maybe that's the whole group kind of clicking, but that's exciting to see. I hope they build on it.
It felt like that was the game where you'd like to think maybe this happened before, but maybe KOC was like, Kirk, we are not going to win this game being conservative, and we are not going to we're not going to win without taking some chances. So you're going to turn the ball over. That's okay. Don't even worry about it. I want you slinging it around and throwing it in some tight windows and throwing guys open. So even that first touchdown to Addison was basically the linebacker was right there. He just threw it right over his back shoulder, and it was there for the touchdown. So that was fun to see. I'd like to see that version going forward. I think we all would. And we'll see what plays out on Sunday. So Tanner, getting into the Green Bay game, started off as a pick'em game. Vikings are now 1.5-point favorites at Lambeau, which is not something that's always normal for this team. So got the last couple of years blowouts, I guess you'd call them, on the mind here. So, Tanner, what do you got for tidbits for the Green Bay game on Sunday?
Yeah, the Vikings have not historically played well in Lambeau the past 5 years or so. So this would be a good game to get that turned around on. Vikings are 57, 65, and 3 all time against the Packers, including 26, 35, and 3 in Lambeau, or I should say road games, I should say. The Vikings have not won in Lambeau with fans in attendance since 2017. So the last time they did that, Case Keenum was under center. They did win in 2020, but there were no fans in attendance. Vikings quarterback Kirk Cousins is 5-5-1 in his career against the Packers, including 1-2 and 1 tie in Lambeau Field. In those starts, he's thrown for 278 yards per game, 22 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, and a 104.6 QB rating. So Kirk Cousins has historically played pretty well against the Packers. This will be Packers quarterback Jordan Love's first career start against the Vikings. He currently holds a career record of 2-5, including 1-1 at Lambeau Field. A majority of his games to start his career have been on the road, so that kind of sucks for him. But this is a tidbit from Brent, actually. I promised him that I would add this onto our list here. But the Vikings have not yet scored a single rushing touchdown yet this season. That's horrible. They're 7 games.
It's changing on Sunday.
Not a single rushing touchdown.
Okay.
Kirk Cousins is having a fantastic season in a contract year. First in the league in completions heading into this week. First in the league in touchdown passes. Second in the league in yards, only to Tua Tagovailoa with the Dolphins, and he has the 4th highest QB rating in the league. Only Tua, Brock Purdy, and Lamar Jackson have higher QB ratings than Kirk through 7 games, or 7 weeks, I should say. Rookie wide receiver Jordan Addison has the 2nd most receiving touchdowns in the league through 7 weeks. Only Tyreek Hill has more with 7. I don't know if this is really a tidbit or not, but I did want to share this with people. Not sure if you guys had a chance to see Rams rookie receiver Puka Nacua won Rookie of the Week again with a stat line of 7 catches for 124 yards and no touchdowns on Sunday. And Jordan Addison had 8 catches for 123 yards and 2 touchdowns against the Niners, and he did
How
not
does
win
that
Rookie
work?
of the Week. So I
Chip
just-
on the shoulder. That's a good thing, Tanner. It's a good thing.
I mean, it really is. I just hate that people don't get the respect that they deserve. So Danielle Hunter is having a phenomenal season as well on the defensive side of the ball. Leads the league in sacks through 7 weeks with 9, and he is also first in the NFL in tackles for loss with 12.
Can I add a recommendation for Danielle? If we are going to attempt a QB sneak of any kind, tush push or otherwise, from the 2-yard line against the solid defense, would you rather have Kirk Cousins taking it or Danielle Hunter taking it? You got to pick one.
I mean, that's pretty easy. I feel like I would say that it's Danielle Hunter because Kirk Cousins looks like
Did any one of you? I know we're getting off
his
track.
one push that he I think I actually laughed out loud when he took that snap.
Did anyone else think, like, what are we doing? Like, there was no part of me that thought we were going to score. It was more like the odds of a turnover are probably skyrocketing right
Through
now.
the roof. Yeah.
Anyway, back to your regular scheduled tidbits.
Let's hope we don't have to run that again this year.
That's up there with the Blazer package from the Joe Webb days. Just
Oh,
crumple it up, throw it in the garbage, move on.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about Danielle Hunter taking a snap under center, but I definitely understand your premise. There might
I'm not
be.
even saying he's the best option. I'm just saying,
No.
which would you choose?
Yeah,
Probably give me some Josh Oliver or something before that. But anyway, I digress.
Packers quarterback Jordan Love has the 4th lowest quarterback rating in the league through 7 weeks. Only Bryce Young, the rookie for the Panthers, Zach Wilson, and Ryan Tannehill have lower QB ratings amongst starting active quarterbacks. This is going to be the first time in 30 years that the Vikings will play the Packers without a Hall of Fame quarterback on the roster. I don't know if anybody knew that or not.
It's so bad.
Got a little bit of trivia for you guys. Can you name the last quarterback not named Aaron Rodgers or Brett Favre to beat the Vikings? Winner gets a high five from yours truly.
Johnny Flynn.
Johnny Flynn, the basketball player for the Timberwolves?
No. Matt Flynn. What
Matt.
was his name?
Matt, right?
Back up about 5-10 years ago with Flynn.
Matt Flynn.
Matt Flynn. Johnny Flynn. It's all the same.
Matt Flynn did indeed win a game against the Vikings, but he was not the last QB to do that.
Oh wow.
That's as good as it's going to get from this guy. So, Goose.
This is kind of an infamous game because there's one play that actually sticks out in my head specifically where I just wanted to throw my phone through the TV.
It's on the tip of my tongue, but we're gonna.
Can you give me a jersey number or anything?
Give us a jersey number.
I could be way wrong here, but I'm thinking like college Wisconsin quarterback. No, was it Tolzien?
Scott Tolzien.
I
think it was like 2014 or 2013. I can't remember the date specifically, but he had a play in that game. We were horrible that year. I think that was the year before Zimmer was here. 2013, I think it was. He escaped pressure somehow, and he ran for like a 15-yard touchdown, and he did like this crazy spin move on one of our safeties, and he is just like the whitest quarterback to ever touch a football.
Tanner, you almost threw me off. When I said Wisconsin, you gave me like a weird look, and so I was like, maybe I'm wrong here.
Did he? I don't know where he went to college.
I just looked it up after I said it, and he went to Wisconsin. He's a Badger.
So I wish I could play the clip of that game, that touchdown that he had, but that was something to forget for sure. So milestone week for Harrison Smith. He is 5 tackles away from 1,000 for his career. 1,000 career tackles for a safety. That's a lot.
Yeah.
And Brent's guy, Greg Joseph, needs 3 field goals this week to pass Rick Danmeyer for 5th most in team history. So
I'm thinking about the Daniel Carlson game when you're talking about a game at Lambeau. So you think Greg Joseph gets it back together?
Yeah. I don't think he's had a lot of pressure this year, which has been nice. So I think that if you don't have a lot of pressure on a kicker, I think it's a lot more for them to collect, or a lot easier for them to collect themselves and make kicks. So
let's just not miss extra points. That would be great.
That's all I got.
That is a good. You know what? That was a good session there, Tanner Tidbits. It's been a little while, so we appreciate that, guys. Let's get into some predictions for Sunday. And I could see this game. I was telling you earlier, there is probably nothing that would surprise me outside of a 2-score victory. Judging by the last couple of years at Lambeau, getting blown out would not surprise me. Losing a close game would not surprise me. Winning a close game would not surprise me. Even a tie would not surprise. So, guys, Vikings are favored, like I mentioned, 1.5 points. 58% chance to win, according to ESPN. Looks like the over-under is around 41-42, so a 21-20 type of a game. Let's go into to some predictions here. Make them bold, and give me something that's going to happen on Sunday. Goose, I'm going to kick it off with you. Not the score yet, but give me something that's going to happen that you see unfolding.
My bold prediction is that KJ Osborne's gonna have 2 touchdowns.
2.
I think
and we trade him on Monday.
Yeah. Jair's gonna maybe focus on Addison, and
we assuming Jair's gonna play.
Well, he's questionable. I'm not sure if he'll play. If he does, I guess whether or not Jair plays or not, the focus is gonna be on TJ and Addison, and I think KJ is gonna have a good game.
Okay. I think as much as we don't like Jair, he did a good job at getting under JJ's skin last year and got real physical, which could be a problem for Addison. So I could see that playing out for sure. 2 touchdowns, we'd take it. Tanner, what do you got?
My bold prediction, got a little bit of evidence with it. The Packers are ranked 30th in the league, so third to last in rush defense. 143 yards a game is what they give up on the ground. And the Vikings have not scored a rushing touchdown yet this year, so I'm going to say they will not only get their first, but they will get 2 this week.
Wow. You stole my thunder and also one-upped me, so I can't even complain. So I'm going to have to pivot here in real time, go with a different type of prediction, and I'm going to go on the other side of the ball and say Jordan Love will turn the ball over 3 times on Sunday. Combination of unofficially a couple of picks and a fumble. And I'm gonna love to see it because it's gonna play into the final score prediction that I'm about to.
Didn't he just have a game where he threw like 3 picks? You think he's going to do it again?
Yep.
Oh,
I think we're gonna blitz the crap out of him, and it's gonna be fun.
All right.
So Goose, give me the score.
Okay. I have a feeling after some of your teasers there, Brent, that you and I might be going on the same direction here.
It
I'm
makes
say
me
the
feel worse about it, but yes.
Come on. I'm going the Vikings score more points than they've scored all season. We're going to hit the 30s this game. I'm going to go Vikings 31, Packers 23.
Okay.
I would say that qualifies as bold. You aren't quite bold enough to get over the 1-score game, which I appreciate. That means you've done your homework.
Yeah.
But 31 points at Lambeau, that is bold. Tanner, what do you got?
I also think the Vikings will break 30 this week, and I think they're going to win it handedly. So I'm going to go Vikings 30, Packers 20.
30-20. It is going to be right around 40 degrees, real feel of around freezing, slight breeze, so not ideal. We are outside, which it feels like we're on roller skates every time we play outside, but
that's
we're
a
pretty
Brent
good at Soldier. Guys, I said nothing would surprise me outside of a blowout win, right?
Right.
So I'm going to say that we are going to win 28-16.
They have those 3 turnovers, Brent.
I wouldn't even call that a blowout. I would just call that more of a comfortable win.
That's a blowout in the NFL nowadays, I feel like.
Well, that would be a Viking blowout. Every other team would be like, oh, that was a nice, comfortable win. For us, it'd be like we're going to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
You know, we didn't talk about something yet that we talked about a lot last year, and this Peter Butkowski that wanted to minimize the record last year, which may or may not be something we want to talk about. But I wonder, I have not listened to the guy, seen anything on him. Is he talking about the Vikings as the greatest team ever because of our expected points and the fact that we just turned the ball over? Because that's the flip side of the argument. You can't have it both ways, right?
I don't
see anything on his.
I don't follow him.
No, I don't either.
He annoys me. He just gets my blood boiling, and I don't care for that crap.
I just think if any Packers fans actually made it 19 minutes and 30 seconds into a amateur Purple Mortgage Guys show, we would love to have your comments and what you think of the Vikings coming into this year, because last year we were frauds. So are we frauds again this year? Leave your comments for Goose to personally respond to this weekend. Guys, if things go south and we lose again at Lambeau, not only will we not be showing up at the office on Monday because of our coworkers. But what are we going to be complaining about? And I feel like we almost need to put a preface of we can't say turnovers anymore because that is so obvious. But if you want to say it and take the
I'm kind of
cop
hoping
out.
you guys don't take mine on this one, but I'll let Goose go first.
No, you go first then.
I know one thing I'm super concerned about, and I haven't seen any news on it yet, but I feel like the one thing I'll be complaining about on Monday is Ezra Cleveland's healthy again, and Kevin O'Connell just throws him back in the lineup after Dalton Reisner made a huge difference last week. And the Packers take advantage of that, and Kirk Cousins is under duress all day again. That would be my biggest complaint.
KOC's decision making with the lineup.
Yes.
Yeah. I had a similar thought when I saw the injury report and saw him questionable. It made me wonder about that. I'm gonna stick with KOC, but I'm gonna go to something we've talked about a little bit, which is play calling. We've seen the highs and lows of it. Sometimes, like against the 49ers, it just seemed like he had their number every step of the way. And we've had a handful of games where KOC looks like a genius. And we've had a handful of games where it's been frustrating. It seems like we're not moving the ball and we're relying too much on the defense when all of our money is on the offensive side of the ball. So I'm going to say if we lose, it's KOC didn't call a very good game. Maybe even mismanaged.
Let's clarify that. Is it we get a small lead and then we play conservative, so we end up punting 2 or 3 times in a row and giving up multiple possessions and not putting them away, or is it something different?
It's going to be a combination of. He's also had some problems with like game and time management, so I think it's going to be a combination of maybe like a poor use of timeouts, and then the hard thing is I hate to be a fan that because some of the good play calls against the 49ers were a tight end screen or things that we've complained about in the past. But I don't want to see like some trying to do too much like fullback CJ Ham screen play that just doesn't seem like it's got a shot. So, but yes, also getting too conservative, which I'm being too broad right now, but there's quite a few things in my head of how that could look, and it's in general it's going to be. I don't think KOC called a good game plan.
Gotcha. Got some PTSD from a few recent year memories here, guys, and could go a lot of directions. Daniel Carlson, so missed field goals. Could go. We don't want to talk about a backup quarterback. We're not even going to go down that path. But I'm going to say last year, the thing I keep remembering about that game is it looked like we were on roller skates and we could not do anything. We were always a step behind, falling all over the place. Hope they've corrected that. But I feel like if we can't get to Love and he's moving down the field and our defense looks like they're just a step slow and can't make the plays and they're slipping and stuff all over the place, I feel like making Jordan Love look like he is Tanner, the next Hall of Famer. And it looks like if that happens, I could see us being super frustrated. And it's probably a combination of a multiple of the things we just mentioned, but that's what sticks out to me. So, guys, let's see what plays out on Sunday. We did say that we read those comments. So we've got one from Bob here. Very optimistic following your last episode of Upset Incoming, which I was not able to be on, but it was Bob's comment was we've won 3 of the last 4, 13-4 coming up Skol. So Bob is super optimistic. Curious what those of you that are watching at this point, optimism level 1 to 10. 10 means Super Bowl or bust. 1 means time to tear it down. Where are we at, guys? Goose, give me your number.
I want to add a part to this question, Brent, because I saw some debate going on amongst fans, and that is, are you a buyer, seller? Some people still want draft capital to build the future of this team and do not want to try to add someone at the trade deadline. So they still want to sell a little bit. I would say my optimistic level is 7.5. And I would be excited for Kwesi to make a move, maybe even 2 moves that isn't like groundbreaking, but help solidify the D line and maybe our secondary depth.
Leave it to Goose to go with 7.5. Maybe 7 5/8, right around a 30-year fixed, but that was a good Goose. Tanner, what's your optimism level?
Yeah, I don't want to get too far ahead of myself yet because the Vikings are the Vikings and we do stuff like this all the time. So I want to see them put together a good string of games here. Beating San Francisco was huge. We really, really needed that game to keep our footing here in the playoff run. So if we can beat Green Bay and beat Atlanta back-to-back games on the road and then play a very underwhelming team in New Orleans back in the US Bank Stadium to end that little four game run, I think that's going to be huge come December when the playoff picture starts to shake out. So I'd say my optimism level is probably around, until they can beat Green Bay, probably more like a 6.
I was going to say a 7, and I'm right there with you. It's so easy to think of last year they beat Buffalo, huge emotional win. Tanner, we were at that game the next week, one of the worst ever to sit through, right? So we don't want that.
Yeah.
Just win, even if it's a 1-point win and it looks ugly, start stacking some wins up. Guys, I think this is a good indicator of how optimistic you are. When you've got matchups like Dallas and the Rams this weekend, who do you want to win that game? Because if you say Dallas, that means you are wanting some of these lower tier teams to start fading. If you say the Rams, that means you're optimistic that we're actually going to leapfrog teams with more wins. So
Are you asking a question like who would I
who do you
rather
want?
have?
Like, are you right now? We're a 7 seed as of today because the Bucks lost last night.
I think for me, I'd probably say I'd rather have the Rams win, and it's probably not even for a reason that you would expect.
Maybe.
For me, it's more so like when good teams lose, they exploit weaknesses, and they release that stuff on tape. So I think that's very good for the Vikings if they have to play a team like Dallas in like the first round of the playoffs, that they have tape on how to beat them.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I would probably say the Rams, but I still have hope that the Lions are going to lion, and that I've got high hopes for winning the division. You still have to go do a lot of things, but I think we've been in
front of you though. You play them twice, right?
Yeah, we've played really the best 4 teams in the league, and we've been right there in every single one of those games. And I truly feel more this year than last year that there's not a team in the NFL that we can't beat on our good day.
Awesome. Well, there you have it. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. If you've not yet subscribed, do that. We'd love to have some comments, and we will see how it shakes out on Sunday at Lambeau. So have a great weekend. We'll come back again next week. Thanks, everybody.